Good morning, do 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 do. Good morning to you. Welcome to a daily dose of joy, where we are going to join together in solidarity and choose to build momentum towards joy by leveraging neuroscience to our benefit, playing little games throughout the day that are shown to raise the level of positive neurotransmitters in the brain: dopamine, oxytocin, serotonin, endorphin. All of those positive neurotransmitters contribute to the feeling of joy and peace, vibrancy and clarity, overall well-being. So today's tool is going to be a Woopsie Daisy story. And I'm wearing my floofies because they will be alluded to in the Woopsie Daisy story. So I have finally getting back to some of my more physical routines, and was biking with some friends, and that was so fun. We're out on this beautiful ride, and we went by this one house. My friend's like, "Oh, you've got to see this house. It's amazing." She and I both live in sort of very cute cottagey bungalows, and this was a bungalow that had just been renovated with cedar shingles on the roof and a big granite fireplace, and it was just beautiful. And so we're looking at it from the street, and I get out my phone and I'm taking pictures. I'm like, "Oh, I like that. Maybe put that on the wish list." And we're having a really good time. And all of a sudden she goes, "Oh, do you smell that? I can smell the cedar roof." And I was standing up here. I was like, "No, I don't know what you're talking about. I don't smell it." And I walked over to where she was, and I was like, and I could smell it. And I was like, "Oh my gosh," it smelled like the inside of a sauna. You know, when you go into a sauna, a cedar lined sauna, it has that very cedar smell. Well, it was starting to get kind of warm. I guess it was heating up their roof, and somehow just this one waft of air was coming down into the street where we were riding on our bikes. And so I'm like, "Oh wow, that smells so good." And so I sniff again, and then I go back over here and I can't smell it. So I'm like, and she's doing the same thing. She's going, and we looked like we were doing some kind of mating ritual, like some kind of bird, like we were two pink flamingos out in our pond, like. And finally realized that the owner had come out in their yard and was just looking at us like, like I think if we had just been taking pictures, it would have been like, "Hey," but they were a little bit, when they see us do this. So they were approaching, you could tell they were approaching initially like, like somebody enjoying this new thing we've done. And then we start doing all this, and they have this slow and quizzical look on their face. And it was all I could do when I registered and made all the connections. I was like, "Whoopsie Daisy, I know that must look odd. We're actually smelling your roof." And we had the best laugh with them. They're like, "Wow, I've heard a lot of compliments, but never before that somebody was enjoying the smell of my roof." So when you're out for a Sunday drive, enjoying the houses nearby, if you happen to plant past a cedar roof, there's a new sensory pleasure you could imbibe in the I mean, y'all, we were a good 80 feet from the house. I mean, this was really like a draft of air that was making its way to us. So it sounded even more bizarre that we were saying, "Oh, we're smelling your roof." Then I stopped to smell the roses, but we stopped to smell your roof. And the thing is, we do that bike route, so I know we'll do it again. We'll probably bring our other flamingo friends. Stand out in the street. So You know, it was one of those moments of awkward, a bit of wobble, a bit of feeling odd and, sort of caught me act kind of feeling. And just that ability to see the humor in it, so that is a default association for me now. And so it turned into just this warm, fun encounter as opposed to this awkward, like, oh, excuse us, bye, which did dawn on me. Just kidding. Okay, so that was my first whoopsie daisy for a bike ride the other day. But I have a second one for you. So we are both riding on bikes that aren't ours. So, and she's even littler than I am. She's diminutive, and she was riding on her teenage son's bike, who's significantly taller than her. So his bike is too big for her. And so, meaning like if she, when she puts her leg over the bike, she can't reach the ground when her feet are on the pedals, so she gets off and then she could barely reach the ground because of the bar, on the bicycle. Well, so we get to a crosswalk and it's like school time. There's a crossing guard and we're just flying down the street. We're having this great ride, but out of respect, like the kids are here and we're going to follow all the rules. And so we're getting off our bikes to go across the street, and I get off my bike and I go across the street on the crosswalk and then I hear this, Winston. And she's like, look. And I turn around and she's like a mama duck. She couldn't get off her bike because all the kids were around. And so and then she can't reach the ground. So she's having to stand on her tiptoes and waddle like a duck across the crosswalk with the bike between her legs, her tiptoes just barely reaching the ground. And I was like, we need a sign that says duck crossing. And it was like, waddle, tiptoe. That one may be a visual whoopsie daisy story, but oh boy, did we laugh. Especially because she was laughing so hard she had to call to me to say, Winston, look. Oh, all she could do, she's like, whoopsie daisy. I couldn't get off my bike in time. Oh God. Whew. Good times. All right. Well, I hope you enjoyed those whoopsie daisy stories, and I hope you will find some of your own as you go through your day. And just let your mirror neurons absorb that little story and know that the capacity to laugh at the inconveniences and the foibles and the pratfalls that life inevitably has is a learned skill, and we can all do it. And so let's take 3 solidarity breaths for being here together, choosing to optimize the dose chemistry in our brains. Thank you. This time, so precious to me. It's carved out intention to dose my brain and to share that. In solidarity, we rise together. May today surprise and delight you. May today surprise and delight me. There are infinite opportunities for both of us. And I look forward to spending more time together tomorrow morning. Bye.